What's your favorite scene in the movie, Blood from Stone?
Favorite scene. It's a tough one. It's like my friend Bobby, who plays Mike, the convention goer, his death scene, every time I see it, I text him and just tell him how much I love watching him die. Um, he just, I love that scene. Gabby's performance in it is just vicious and so cold and just this great turning point. So I like that one, but I really think my favorite one is the conversation with Nika and Vanya as Victoria and Ure, just brother and sister, just shooting the shit, having a great time, with getting a little drunk, and just talking about the good old days and their back and forth and their dynamic. It was a fun scene to write. It's obviously somewhat exposition heavy. They tried to make it fun, and then just their deliveries, like they brought it to life so well that for me, it's the first dialogue scene I've ever written that I'm actually really proud of. And a lot of it is really their delivery and the way that they were just, so great together on camera. And even though it's a long scene, I enjoy it every time I see it. I just love what they did with it. So that's my favorite.
Yeah, I think you learn a lot about the characters and their motivations from that scene. I mean, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but is it that, and we may have to take this out, where she says, like, Dad's going to cut you off if you don't clean up your act?
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
and then you go, oh, now I see this guy better. Okay, now I
exactly.
get some of who he is.
Yeah, like you see, he's kind of like the black sheep, the rebellious one, the guy that never, and especially for people that are into vampire lore, for the first like half the movie, you're like, these are weird vampires, and then when Nika's character arrives, you start to find out why they're so different. Like she's really a lot more of this typical vampire image and type of personality type. And then you start to see why the two that you've been following are not like the vampires that you would normally see in a movie. And again, try not to be too exposition heavy or too heavy handed. Trying to make it fun the whole way through, but really allowing their backgrounds. Like you see why she has such a animosity toward him. You see why he is so lonely, why he acts the way he does. Recently, person I watched it was talking about how chatty he is. Like he's a chatty vampire, and then as it goes on, you start to realize like, oh, this guy is like lonely. Like he's a monster, and he doesn't have anyone left in his life. Like he's a lonely person who just kind of wants to be loved, and so even though he's a monster and he's done terrible things to people, like he started to, so that sort of aspect, and that's really the scene where it really comes out. Like he and Vanya does just such a great job with being both this just barbarian beast, but also being very vulnerable and very almost like this like childlike innocence. Like he's this guy that just never grew up, never learned how to take no for an answer or have to have responsibility or anything like that. And yeah, so I think he just, he delivers so well in that one. Like there's one moment of it that still, every time his line delivery just brings a little tear to my eye. I'm just like, he's just like, oh, that's really sad. And he just sells it so well. So